Welcome back, everyone. It's time for another video about Trump and his administration and how the astrological alignments are giving us some information about what's coming. So for any of you who are new to my channel, I'm Yvonne Davis. I'm a professional astrologer, and if you're interested in a personal reading, I put my link below for that. And also, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. So okay, I'm going to bring up a chart because my last video, and I will include the link for that below, talked about the lunations coming up in 2019. I got through somewhere in July and then I jumped to December. So I am planning to do the latter half and more specific videos on 2019. But I really felt it was time to jump ahead to January 2020 because I know a lot of astrologers have been talking about it and it's pretty extraordinary. And I wanted to finally do a video about what's coming in January 2020 and specifically how it relates to Donald Trump. So let me go ahead and pull up that video, that chart. Okay, so this is Donald Trump's natal chart on the inside and the full moon in Capricorn on January 10th, 2020. So check this out. This is pretty intense. And I'm going to title this video, When Will Trump Leave the White House in 2019 or 2020? And, you know, I have to speak honestly because if I don't, then, well, how can I really call myself an astrologer if I'm just telling people what they want to hear instead of what my intuition is actually telling me is true. And so as much as I know you guys have suffered through the past 2 years and longer dealing with this person in the White House, and the thought of having to deal with it for another almost 2 years is really disheartening. So I know you would like to see him gone in 2019, but I think that we really are going to have to wait until a year from now when it's all comes to a head. And it's hard to believe how it could possibly last that long, but these things actually do take a long time because we're dealing with serious legal issues. They cannot just be it can't go quickly. It has to take its time and it has to be built. The case has to be continuing investigations, and it has to be built and presented properly, because just like any legal case in any court, if it's not done properly, the person can get off on a technicality. So it's the same here. In fact, probably an even more stringent yardstick. So it's really important to do this right. That means it takes time. I wanted to wait until Donald Trump had a chance to, well, first of all, for the Congress to have a chance to come in and start working, and then for Donald Trump to do his State of the Union address and see what happened with the government shutdown and what Donald Trump had to say. And what we see is Donald Trump is still lying. He's still a liar. He said he was going to take responsibility for the government shutdown. He did not. He blamed it all on Pelosi. I mean, it's just like, it's sickening. It makes you sick to your stomach. How can someone just so blatantly lie? It's like it was filmed. He was sitting right there with all these people in the room. I think it was in the Oval Office. And he said flat out, I will take responsibility for the government shutdown. And then he went and blamed it on Pelosi. So, it's just the same old Donald Trump. He lies all the time. Practically every word out of his mouth is a lie. He still doesn't want to show his tax returns because obviously there's something he's hiding. And he's still trying to build a stupid wall. And by the way, how he spells the wall is DISTRACTION because he needs a distraction. And so anyway, it's there was nothing there to really give any of us hope, because it was all just big fat lies and big fat walls, and we don't really believe in that. That's why the majority of the people did not vote for Donald Trump, and that's why there was a blue wave in the last election, is because, you know, people are speaking for what they want and what they don't want. Anyway, let's get to this chart. For January 10th, 2020, what we see is a full moon here, and it's going to be powerful in itself, because on this day and the days leading up to it, so it's about 4 or 5 days when it's unfolding over the course of a weekend, you will see these planets stacking up in 22 degrees. And Pluto and Saturn will conjoin right over his vertex, which is fate. And this is his 6th house of work. And we will also see these other planets coming into the 22nd degree, the Sun and Mercury, and they will make conjunctions as well. And they are opposite his Saturn-Venus conjunction in the 12th house. So this full moon is right over it. So this is where it really comes into full force. And also notice that the North Node, the direction of his evolution, is also conjoining his Mercury. So I think we will unfortunately have to wait until 2020, but you just have hope, because he's not going to get off the hook. Now, he may not get the kind of, you know, like the whatever comes to him, the consequences may not be as harsh or the equivalent of what many people will think he deserves. And that's because he was born under a lucky star, and somehow he'll probably find a way to slither out, but not completely, but we will have to wait almost a year for this alignment to bring everything to full fruition. But this is something to look forward to. For those of you who are just so tired of the blatant lies, and so tired of the walls and all the divisiveness that he has created, and all the hatred and racism that is, you know, just embedded and woven into everything he says and does. I know I'm tired of it too, obviously. So, but take heart. It's going to change. It's going to change, and we just need to hold out, because this is the direction that he is moving in, and it's basically Donald Trump's crazy train. I like to call it the Trump crazy train, is headed for a wall of its own. It's not going to be the wall between the U.S. and Mexico. So that's about all I can say right now, because in a sense, I think the alignments speak for themselves. I mean, just look at all this energy, incredibly powerful energy here in the 6th house of work. And you know, I've showed you before the oppositions, the squares, the quincunxes. There's a major quincunx going from this full moon, and all of these planets here, 20, 21, 22 degrees. And as they pile up at 22 degrees, they will conjoin his vertex, which is fate, and they will make a quincunx, which is a karmic adjustment to his sun. So I don't think there's any way, no matter how lucky he is, he can completely slither out of this. So just take heart for those of you who are just so fed up. This is something to look forward to, and it will be unfolding over the coming year. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. And of course, I will continue to do videos on this subject. And, you know, as we move through time, through 2019, I will continue to do more in-depth videos on the lunations and the alignments and how that will impact Trump and his administration. and then I'll do a more extended version of the latter half of 2019. So again, if you haven't seen that video in 2019, I will link to it below. If you want a personal reading, I'll put my link below. And other than that, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. You know I love your comments, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.